Hello and welcome back to my channel. I want to start off by saying thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for clicking on the video. Thanks for coming back for part 3. I do apologize for having to break it down in so many parts, but right now with what I'm using to record, it's kind of hard to download a really long video. So I think I'm gonna work with like maybe 35 minutes for each video. Anyway, let's get started. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and please share as much as you want, as much as you can, as much as you feel like. So I think I ended talking about transplant. So I went for transplant again. That didn't work out. Was devastated, was angry, was depressed for a while. Started back in center. Like I said, got a fistula put in. I kept getting fistulas put in. They stopped working. I mean, they never worked. Also, kept having perm catheters. My perm catheters would be in my neck area. That was another crazy thing, to go out and go shopping or be out and people see you and they, what's that? You know, it's never let me think before I speak or let me think before I ask this question. You know, like, it just used to hurt so bad. But I had to get to a place where regardless of what I was asked, regardless of what people said, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, people are going to be people. And when you get to the place where you don't let what people have to say bother you, you don't let what people do bother you. I remember when everything first started and someone came back to me and they said, oh, someone seen you and they said they couldn't believe you let yourself go like that. You had gained so much weight. You was looking terrible. Well, I was sick. I wasn't feeling good. Sorry if I wasn't looking like you wanted me to look. But again, I've been delivered from what people have to say, because people got something to say if you're doing good. People got something to say if you're doing bad. So we're going to continue. And we're going to go into, let me see, that was March 2010. Also, had a time where I, I would be out, from time to time when I started going back out. And I started getting this crazy excruciating pain in my hip area. Well, kept on telling my doctor. They referred me to orthopedic. Went to them and found out I had avascular necrosis, which meant that my hip bone was deteriorating, causing pain. So I ended up first in a wheelchair for a while, on crutches for a while. And so they told me I would have to have surgery eventually. So the first surgery that they did was a core decompression. Had that done down at UVA. It lasted for a while, but they also explained to me that once the core decompression wore off, there would be no more getting core decompression again. And it's like a cement type substance that they put in to fill out where your bone is missing. Did that for a while. That lasted for probably about maybe 5 years. Well, after doing that, I went on ahead, had the core decompression, tried to stay off my hip as much as possible, but I wanted to live. I wanted to still do stuff. It got to the point where, I had a young child. I really couldn't do much with her. I was always tired, drained from dialysis. Then here we go with my hip. So I'm like, huh? And I always, again, still kept my faith. Still believed that, one day all this will be over, So continue to pray, still praying, just asking God to just please fix it. And then I started wondering, like, what did I do? What did I do wrong? And whew, I just didn't know where to turn except for my word. I tried to stay in my word. I tried to get a better understanding. And at times I just felt like, is it even meant for me to understand? Well, I went on about my business. Time went by, and when I learned about the avascular necrosis, I learned that the steroids that I was on, which was prednisone at the time, were very strong. That's what caused the deterioration. So it's like when I heard the word prednisone, oh my goodness, instant tears. I mean, I'm a crybaby anyway, but when it came to hearing the word steroid, oh, I just went crazy. So as time went on, dealt with stuff along the way. I was still running in center. Well, anytime I would run in center, if I'm in a recliner, they would have to lay my recliner all the way back, or either, like I said, when I was in another clinic, they would have to put me in a bed in order for me to run. Where you're in there for what, 3-4 hours? So it's a headache. So I go ahead and continue to do that. Time goes on, life goes on, my child growing up. I continuously feel like a burden to my family. I know they care, I know they love me, but going from being so independent, always doing for myself, always making sure that me and my daughter had, always making sure that, she was good, I just felt horrible. I felt crazy because I feel like I'm putting so much on her for her to be so young. I always felt like, but I also had to continue to pray about that. My worst fear throughout this whole thing is not being here to raise my child and watch my child grow. But my child is 17 years old. She's a good kid. She's a teenager, so of course, you know how they are, but she's a good kid. God has kept me here this long, and I believe he's going to keep me even longer. So that has been accomplished. So again, time goes on. Whenever you get any type of clotting in your fistula or whatever, you have to go down to the access center. The access center, they will do a fistulagram where they go in your arm. They have to cut you, go in your arm. They balloon it out because sometimes it'll get kind of narrow or try to clot. So this particular time, I go and I see one of my favorite doctors, and he starts to work on me. But when he starts to work, he's like, "Oh, hold on." So at the time, he's like, "Oh no, Tanisha, I can't work on you. We'll have to send you to get this checked at the university." So I go to the university hospital for my appointment, and this is when I find out they're gonna have to put a stent in. Well, they put a stent in. I think it was a 1-day surgery. They put the stent in. I went home. I was good for a while. Well, they ended up calling me when I went back for follow-up. They ended up calling me to tell me, "Listen, we got to get you back in here. We didn't like what we saw. The stent that was put in was migrating. If it went the wrong way, it could cause me to leave here." So I'm like, oh, here we go again. So I'm in the hospital. They're keeping an eye on me. They send a surgeon in the room. Well, when the surgeon came in, he came in and gave me his name, explained who he was and what he did. And I'm like, huh? They're like, yes, you're going to have open heart surgery with a bypass. Huh? At the time, this was 2014. I'm like, open heart surgery? Well, I don't know what it was. And my sister will even say, "Sister, you called us and you just seemed so, you didn't take it serious." I promise it wasn't that I didn't take it serious, But I had prayed and I asked God to give me strength, help me through. And for some reason, they came here talking about heart surgery. I was at peace. It's like I didn't worry about it. It was like I knew I would be okay. It was like I knew I would make it through. And as you can see, I'm here. I wasn't being big-headed. I don't know. It could, and I explain it like this because I have no other way of explaining it. It had to be God and God only that gave me a peace like that. Woo! Just a beautiful peace. So here it is, 2014, October the 18th. Everyone met in Durham. My sisters came in from out of town. We stayed in a hotel room. We just had a good time. Went out to eat. My uncle and my aunt came up. We just had a good time. It was all about having a good time. You just never know what's going to happen. I was at peace, but I knew they were scared, and they loved me. They wanted to see me come out okay. So we go ahead and we get the room. The next morning we got up, we had went to Cracker Barrel, had breakfast there. We ended up seeing Grant Hill and Tamia. I'm like, I know them from somewhere. Sister like, yeah, duh, it's Grant Hill and Tamia. Oh, okay, hey y'all. But that was, we had a good time. We made sure that they made sure that everything was fun, everything was all smiles, everything was just great, So we leave from there, and I have to check in the hospital right after this. That was October the 19th. So that was October the 19th. We went to the mall, just had a good time. And then we checked on in to the hospital. They went ahead, got me in my room, did all my labs, all my vitals and everything. That was that. They told me that my surgery will be at 5 o'clock that morning. A great pastor friend of mine came and prayed with me early that morning. I'm talking 5 o'clock in the morning. Came, prayed with me. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And again, I just felt so at peace. So they rolled me back. My mom, my sisters, my brother-in-law, everybody comes back. They give me a hug and tell me they love me. We're having the hardest time because every single time I go to the doctor, we can't find veins. They say that ever since this has been going on, my veins are like paper thin and they roll. So, yeah, about that. Normally if I go to the doctor and we have to get blood or they have to start an IV or something, I gotta get stuck like about 14 times. Yeah. Feet, neck, everywhere. Wrists, hand, anywhere matter of fact, New Year's Eve, I got stuck in my armpit. Yeah, my armpit. So yeah, that's how hard of a stick I am. But anyway, go ahead. I have the open heart surgery. They do open heart with a bypass. They take a vein from the back of my right calf muscle. They take a vein from there to put here so that I can have the circulation that I need. Because in order to even figure out that something was going on, before they figured out something was going on, I would get up in the morning. One morning I remember getting up, going to wake my daughter up for school. I put my hand up to knock on her door and I dropped to the floor. And I didn't even realize that's what had happened at the time. But then when I thought back on it, I'm like, darn, I was passing out. And at the time I was letting them know at my doctor what was going on, but they thought it was like something brain related. So they sent me to a brain doctor. And I was going to see a brain doctor. They was doing all these tests. I was scared because I'm like, what is going on with my brain? Like, devil, you can't have nothing. You get nothing here. And I always, knew don't speak negative because you give the devil something to work with. And he's out to steal, kill, and destroy. So I always, and things, I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I'm not saying I always speak positive. It's times where I get down and I may say some stuff and I know better. But at the time, and I'm human just like anybody else, but it seems like at the time you just down, you don't know, you just, ooh. And so I'm like, devil, no. Like, no, you cannot have my body. You cannot have my body. You cannot have my mind. And I always pray and ask God to just, Lord, keep me covered. And Lord, keep me in my right mind. Give me strength to endure any and everything that's thrown my way. Because it's hard. It's extremely hard. Being a woman, being the type of person that I am, wanting to continue to be independent, but knowing I really can't be fully independent, having to depend on others, like, it's a lot. But just don't give up. And I always keep hope. So again, they do the surgery, I come out. That's the picture that you see as my thumbnail on part 1. My sister and them are there. I can kind of vividly see them. But the days of recovery, those days of recovery were extremely hard. Extremely hard. They would come in, they would, try to sit me up. Mind you, I have this long scar on my chest. Mind you, it feels like it's like 20 some bricks on my chest. But I was determined. You had to get up. They wanted you to walk. I had to breathe and make sure, nothing was getting caught up in here. No type of, pneumonia or anything like that. So I did everything I had to do. I had my sister and my mama right there, my baby sister. They made sure they helped me. They helped me sit up. Just helped me do everything. Did all that, recovered, was able to go home finally. I did my walking I needed to do while I was there. Was able to finally go home. That was 2014. And from 2014, can't go that far yet. That was 2014. Well, then I was still having complications as far as like trying to run with the fistula and the needles and all that in my arm. So they begged me to go back to peritoneal dialysis again with the catheter in your stomach. Well, this time when I went back on it, the fluid that goes into your stomach, it makes you look pregnant. That's why I didn't want to be on it the first time. I would go out and people be like, girl, you pregnant? Or girl, when you had a baby? I'm not pregnant. There is no baby. And to be a woman and someone says that to you, it just feels horrible. So with that, I'm back on. I'm doing my exchanges like I'm supposed to throughout the day. Well, the first time I was on it, I ended up developing a hernia in the very front part of my stomach. So we didn't do anything about it, but when I was putting the fluid in, the fluid got trapped in my stomach. When the fluid got trapped, pain like no other. Had to be rushed to the hospital in the ambulance, and it just was not good. Just pain. I'm talking about pain that make you sweat, and I'm black, but I turned red kind of pain. So went through that one time. Went do an exchange another time. It happened again. After it happened again, no sir, y'all got to put me back. I can't do it. Sorry, but finally I go back on hemodialysis in center. Well, I'm going, doing what I need to do, doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, this was 2014. I hadn't been hospitalized. You know, I was having to go to the access center to get my fistula declotted or whatever, but I was good. Okay, just 2014. So, I think the next big thing was, you know, like I said, I was still having surgeries in between, but they would be for catheters or whatever. So then I had to get, because of the issues with the catheter, I ended up having to get my next catheter in my growing area. Well, they put that in my growing area, and when I go to do dialysis, I would have to wear these pants that snapped on the side so we can get to it without exposing everything. Wore those for a while. After wearing those for a while and doing all that, my new fistula, because I had to get a new fistula surgery done November 2014. I'm sorry about that, guys. So I did have another surgery after the open heart surgery. It was a surgery to put in another fistula, but the same doctor did it, vascular surgeon at the University Hospital. He always did me good. Each one that he put in worked and worked well. So I got that one November 2014. And again, like I said, going on about my life, whatever. I was still doing in-center. Every time I would go, I would leave feeling worse than what I came. Worse than what I came. So, because I was feeling worse, I'm like, something gotta give. Well, they would get the people, because in Virginia, the center I was going to, you had your home hemo here, but across the street you had your regular in-center dialysis. They were across the street from each other. Well, they would get the people that ran the home FSGS dialysis to come across the street to talk to you and see if you were interested in home dialysis. Well, because of my experience with peritoneal dialysis, I'm like, no. Every time. Didn't research, didn't find out nothing. I was just scared, and I'm like, I'm tired of going through stuff. Just no. And my nurse now, I even laugh with her till today because I'm like, girl, I was just stubborn. I wasn't even trying to listen to nothing y'all had to say. I was like, then I'm over here being worse. And well, one day I was feeling so bad, I even asked, could I come in and run an extra day? Went in, ran an extra day, still feeling bad. So I just got to praying, and I asked them, I said, can I have a DVD on home hemo next stage, which is the same dialysis as in-center, but you do it at home. You have way more energy. You are in control. And the only thing about that one is I had to get my nerve up because I would have to stick myself with 15 gauge needles 2 times, 5 days a week for 2 hours and 30 minutes. That was my prescription. Stick arterial, stick venous, plug myself up to the machine 5 times a week. I could be off 2 days. They don't want you to take the 2 days off back to back. So this was very exciting news. I was excited, but I was so scared. Like, I gotta stick myself. I'm like, I couldn't even get myself EPO, which this was different. So I went on over and started talking to who I needed to talk to. I told them, listen, I really want to try to do this. Like, I watched the DVD last night, and it seems like something I can do. I just gotta be, get my nerves up to stick myself. So they went on ahead and talked to, got everything in order. And then they was like, okay, you're gonna be the first one we train. Well, since I was gonna be the first one here in Virginia for my center, they had to get one of the big guys to come down, and he helped my nurse. And, she learned, and then I learned, and I did really good. I learned pretty quick. And I love you, nurse. You know who you are. So I went ahead, did everything I had to do. Got the training over with the first week or so. that they release you, they send a nurse home with you. So you do your 2 hours and 30 minutes, and after you get through, your nurse leaves. But most of the people that I come in contact with, we end up just being, really, really like each other, love each other. So my nurse was really good. She always made sure that I was okay. Thank you so much again. Made sure I was okay. They were like so outdone with the fact that I learned so quickly. And once you do this, they release you, you go home, you got your machine. And the machine is just a little small compact machine, but then you have this big bottom piece. I wish you was here for me to show you, but I don't have it here to show. Anyway, so after getting the machine, I had got the machine or whatever, started everything was well. And when you own PD, you can travel, you got your bags, whatever. When you own in-center, you can travel too. But when you're on HHD, home hemodialysis, it's really nice. And I say that because you can travel, you're responsible for your machine, but all the rest of the stuff is sent to, your hotel room or the boat or, wherever you're going to be, it's sent there. They ship it there. So I said, well, I ain't never been to Vegas. That will be my first trip. Went to Vegas, stuff was delivered to the room, and had a good time. All right, so that was 2016. All right, time passes by. I've been doing pretty good. Like I said, still have to go to the access center probably about every 6 months or so, just depending on how much this costs. Well, then I think I ended up getting like a small cold. When I got this cold, I ended up going to go get some medication, and they gave me medication. It was an antibiotic. Well, I get the antibiotic. I ain't feeling good. And normally, I read side effects, all that, because as I'm seeing, my body loves a side effect. Again, like I told y'all before, if the bottle say I'm gonna do 13 cartwheels and 6 jumping jacks, that's what I'm gonna do. So I go and get the prescription, start taking the medicine. When you get an antibiotic, you're supposed to take, whether you're feeling better or not, you take all of it. So I go ahead and I'm taking it. Man, my every joint in my body is hurting to the point where every day I wake up, I'm just in tears because it's hurting that bad. I mean, my wrist, my elbow, everywhere where a bone was connected, I was hurting. Kept trying to figure out what it was. Finally, some people from my church ended up picking me up, driving me to the university hospital. Thank you so much. You know who you are. And I was so thankful. Well, when we get there, my blood pressures at this time were running low. Like I would have 2-digit top and bottom. And anybody know about blood pressure, it should be 120 over 80 is, perfect. Well, get to the hospital. They don't believe me because my blood pressure ain't showing like, oh, she in pain. Well, I'm telling you I'm in pain. I got tears rolling down my face. I'm in pain. We actually stayed there until the next morning for someone to see me. They finally see me. When they see me again, they don't believe me. Well, I'm just really trying to figure out what is wrong. What is going on? Ding. I'm taking new medication. Go pull up the side effects, Tanisha. Whew. Pulled up side effects, and it explained it all. I had tendinitis in every joint in my body. When I went and looked it up, I got so scared because there was a young lady on there talking about tendinitis and how she took Lavaquin and how it had messed her up. So here I am, still young. It's things I want to do. I'm like, oh my God, I can barely move. Like I couldn't go to the bathroom myself. I couldn't do nothing myself. Again, Miss Independent, wanting to be independent, had to reach out, and I had no other choice but to depend on someone else. Again, my heart is broken. My heart is broken. So, going about my business. And I have been pretty good since then. Again, having to go to the Access Center to maybe get this, ballooned out or whatever, have a fistulogram done. Each and every time that I went, I guess, I don't know, people just don't understand unless they go through stuff. And that's why I'm sitting here explaining this. But every time I would go, my doctor would be the sweetest little thing. But then you had some nurses, like I had one nurse that I'm like, where'd they get her from? Like, you can't work in this profession and be nasty towards people. You can't work in this profession and have a problem if somebody cries. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what kind of mind frame I'm in. I never forget crying, and my doctor would always, oh, Tanisha, oh, my sweetheart, you're not crying. Please don't cry. I always would kind of get a little tickled about that. But I loved him, and I knew he cared. There's nothing like a doctor or a nurse that you have no question that they care. I mean, this man, if he did something to me or had to work on me, you best believe he done went in the computer, he done got my phone number, and he gonna call and make sure that Tanisha is all right. You know who you are too. Thank you so much. So you have those that are only there for the money, but you got some that really care, and he really cared. So now I am in 2017. All right, 2017. You know what? My 30 minutes is probably up, and I want to make sure I get everything in. My story is very long, but very detailed, and I want to make sure you guys understand. He's real. He's real. He's awesome. He's mighty. And I'm just so thankful. So I'm going to stop this part 3 right here. There will be a part 4, and I think part 4 will be where I finish. But I'm going to make note, and when I come back, we'll go into 2017. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Please hit that like button. Leave me a comment. And please keep praying for me, because God is working. Something is brewing. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great one.